Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday to every one of us. Welcome to another informative, exciting, and help-laden Saturday. My name is Rosemary Henrieze, and this is the Young Women and Wives with Burdens Initiative Discussion Platform. How are you? How has your week been? Or how was your week? Mine was eventful. Mine was loaded, and somewhere along the line also I had a very tiring week. I just had to give myself that rest. I just had to give myself that rest because rest is very important. How are you? I know and I trust that you are doing okay. Hi dear mama, how are you? How is everything going with you? I know you're doing good. So, before we continue, I really have something to play for you. I want to encourage you, dear woman. I want to encourage you. And this is something that I want to use to encourage you. Please listen to this. Hello, Mama. You did not expect it to happen, but it did. So after 25 years, after 10 years, after 15 years of sacrifice, love, and everything you gave to the marriage, it ended. I feel your pain. And not to sound like someone who is, a broken record. Your pain is very, very understandable. And yes, spend time recounting your loss or what is supposedly a loss. But I hope you know that it was a school you went through. You went through a school and you got several certificates that money can never buy. And yes, you got several certificates that money can never buy. A wonderful Saturday once more. My name is Rosemary Henrieze, and tonight we are looking at a very sensitive topic. I can see our speaker in the person of Olabisi Adeshola. Ma, please don't forget to send me the invite so I can bring you on. Please don't forget. Tonight we are looking at this topic, starting over without starting from zero. Rebuilding life after divorce with wisdom, not desperation. It's a Q&A. We have our speaker in the house and she's coming on to share. We're not talking, we're not gisting, we're practical. We're going to be talking to ourselves this night. The degree with which, marriages are being put to an end or stop, is not just alarming, but it has gone beyond disturbing and has crossed to the state of what is happening. Yet, if a marriage ends, should that bring an end to your life? Maybe because as Nigerians or as Africans, the way we pride marriage, the way marriage is interpreted and, to us as women, has really made a lot of things, seem like impossibility. And then we enter into marriage and we stop being us. We stop living life as a person. We start to live life for the man, for the husband, and for the children. So we kind of, without Some people say without being intentional, without knowingly, we put a halt to our own life. And this is really something that we'll be discussing this night. Is it worth it? And when the marriage comes to an end, how do you start all over again to build yourself? How do you start all over to build you? Because you must exist, you must continue to live. Ma, please send me an invite, ma. Please send me an invite, ma. Mommy, I'm not seeing your invite, so please send the invite, please, ma, so that I can bring you on. So, but we must continue to what? To live, or let me say to thrive as a human being. There's something I do say, and for a very long time I had well, let me just say, in the church community, in the Christian community, I had a lot of people speak against it to me, and then showed anger, showed irritation when I tell them that even in the midst of the most difficult and impossible marriage, you can still create, you can still continue to thrive as an individual. And someone said, how is that possible? I said it is when you are intentional about your own self. And how are you intentional about yourself? If you don't have self-awareness, if you are not intentional about who you are, if you are not intentional about, I'm forced to Rosemary before I became a Mrs. or before I became a mother. And I put more effort. I was intentional. Welcome, ma.
Yeah,
Welcome, mom.
thank you.
Yeah. So I am very intentional about ensuring that Rosemary does not become silent, even in the different expressions of myself. And what do I mean by that? In the different expression of myself, in sense that I was forced Rosemary before I became a wife, before I became a mother. So if Rosemary is not healthy, if Rosemary is not thriving, if Rosemary is not whole, my being a missus will be what? Problematic. My being a mother will also have an issue. So if I work on Rosemary, if I make Rosemary whole, then every other aspect will be whole. And life will throw you challenges, and you cannot control what another person, another adult will do to you, but you can control how much it impact or affect your life. Welcome, ma. And without
Yeah,
taking much of our time, I want us to go straight into tonight's discussion. So
it's all right.
starting all over again without starting from zero. We are rebuilding after divorce with wisdom and not desperation. Olabisi Adeshalama, welcome. Please let our audience get to meet you. Let's know you. Please tell us
Okay.
about yourself.
Ah, well, this is Olabisi Adeshola. Olabisi is a business person. I'm a chef, and I've been a baker from age 12. I've loved baking, and I've loved cooking, and I've loved entertaining people. So in the course of my journey, I got to know Christ. I came into Christ, and I started serving God. It has been an awesome time. I love to read books. I love to meet new people. I love to associate with people that are going somewhere, with people that can multiply me and add to my value, not people that can set me back. And the journey of life has been so wonderful. I'm appreciating the founder of this initiative. This is my very first time coming on here to talk about my life experience. This is the very first time. And I hope that people will learn one or two things. People listening now or catching up later will go back and learn one or two things. So that is just a brief, okay, that's just a brief introduction about myself. So talking
Thank
about tonight's topic, okay.
thank you so much, ma. Don't
Yeah.
worry, we're coming. We are out to learn tonight. Thank you so much, ma. Okay, so tonight we're talking about divorce. We're talking about your experience with divorce. Now, there cannot be a divorce if there was not a marriage. So just take us briefly through your journey through marriage.
Yeah, prior to the time I got married, let me say from my previous experience and now, I realized that when I got married, it's like I really don't know what I want. I just felt that, oh, it's time to get married. Let's get married. Let's go into a relationship. And the courtship was a long one. So I entered into marriage feeling with great expectation. And my foundation of entering into marriage is Christian wife. Christian wife in the sense that, oh, I want to be that good wife. I want to be obedient wife. I want to give my best, my whole. And then I had a vision when going into the marriage that everybody that comes into my home and visit my home, they will not feel like going home again. My home, my marriage will be a home to everybody. And then they will not go empty. They will go blessed. They will go happy. And they want to come back again and again. And which I actually fulfilled for like 5 to 6 years. But when the devil, can I say the devil, or when people saw the tenacity, the intentionality that I put into the marriage, some were envious, some that were close. There was nothing I cannot do with my husband. We play like babies. Yeah, there have been those times when things were really good. But when it became sour, it was just a few years afterwards. And then what I can say is that I gave everything. I lived other people's life. I lived my life for my husband. I lived my life for my children. I lived my life for people around me. I never had a life of my own at a point. It's not that I lost it, but I lost myself. Yes, I lost myself because I wanted everything. I wanted a perfect marriage. I wanted everything to just, be organized, be planned, and go well. That was what I wanted. And I did my best to make sure that happened. So if you ask me, was it good? Yes. What did I take out? I took out my salvation. Over to you, ma.
Thank you so much, Ma. I actually was paying rapt attention to, the summary you were giving to us. Now, tonight we are talking about, about rebuilding, after divorce. So, but take us into when, things started happening and how it eventually led to divorce.
7 years into the marriage, I started hearing things like, if I know what I know today, I wouldn't have married you. Wow, that shocked me. But I was not bothered. And one thing I want to say tonight is, when you talk about marriage, going into marriage is no longer about you. Marriage becomes a place, for me, a place of absolute surrender, vulnerability, if I can use that word here. So 7 years into the marriage, I started saying so many things. And I want to say here tonight that whether the marriage works or end in divorce, it takes two. So I won't say anything to pull the other party down. No. As guilty as the other person is, so also I am. Because God committed that relationship into our hands. And he said two shall become one. But another thing I want us to make understand also is that one party cannot make it work. You need the two party to make it work. So if one party is already giving you that sign, no matter your struggle, no matter how prayerful you can be, you cannot sustain it alone, except the second party becomes vulnerable, becomes yield, and is willing to make it work. Because
Hmm.
I can tell you for free, I wanted it to work.
Hmm.
And then another thing is, whether it is a year, 2 years, 3 years, no matter the number of years, it's not always the best. Ending a marriage in divorce, it is not the best at all. There
Hmm.
is pain,
Hmm.
there
Thank you
is
so much, ma.
disappointment. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma. Don't let the bag out of the cat. Don't let the cat out of
Okay.
the bag yet.
Right.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, ma. You know, this night topic is a very sensitive one, and we really want to, uh, you know, deal with it, without sentiments, but with clarity. I
Yes.
want to welcome our online audience. I want to welcome Glory Star. I want to welcome Evangelist Joy Cherechi. How are you, ma? Well done. And I want to welcome Dr. Kumerita, Dr. Merit Aigboha. Welcome, Doc. Good to see you. Um, so, ma, Dr. Merit has a question. Before I ask another question, let's take this question. But let me just say, Doc, please, ma, can you just hold on for a minute? We'll come back to that question. Now, thank you, ma, for sharing those when you started noting the sign. And thank you for actually mentioning that for a marriage that ends or has issue and everything, that it takes two people, two people involved or in the marriage to actually make it work. Yes, ma, I
Yes.
agree. Now, when in your marriage did you, or what were the things that you feel that you did that made their marriage not to work? Let's talk about your own part now.
Sorry. Okay,
Hello.
come again. I didn't get that.
Okay,
The
my said,
network was.
okay, ma, you mentioned that yes, truly it takes two to make a marriage work. So tell us first, what were the things that you did or you did not do in that marriage now that actually caused the breakdown of that marriage? Because you said that 7 years into the marriage, you started hearing, oh, if I know what I know now, I would not have married you. What do you think that what was it that you did or what happened that led him to
Uh,
such a statement?
okay. Number one, I was issue was the age gap.
Mm,
The age is just like 6 months or 7 months, which I consider a year, but he was not
mm,
seen that way. Then another thing was, I cannot really place it because
mm.
each time I ask, why are you saying what you are saying? It will just it's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's maturity, is understanding. No, all of that excuses. It was not really direct. So to your question now, that what I or did not do,
Yes.
I want you to understand is that situation or in a scenario, or you are involved in a particular activity, you
Mm,
really cannot see yourself.
mm,
You really cannot see what you are doing wrong. So for me, for every instruction, for every complaint, I try to adjust and amend. Maybe I don't say it. That is why it wasn't. But because every complaint to the table, this you don't like, sorry, let's we can make it. And for a little mistake again, like, oh, you forgot that this thing it doesn't like it and you are doing it again. This one we just conclude. I said it. You don't hear what you don't. I said, oh, we are all human beings. Let's keep saying it. Someday you get it. Change is constant. It's not automatic. But then, trying to work on you. And he also needs to work on. Another thing that I there is saying sorry, or is saying sorry a crime? In my situation, my apologizing, my accepting my faults and my whether I'm wrong or right, or my saying sorry was a problem. It feels it's too much. What? Personally, I don't like arguments. I believe where there is love, there should be talk to respect. You talk to each other's, level of um, maturity and responsibility. You don't take each other for granted. So that is with that understanding is what I brought to the table. If we say we love one another, please don't treat me this way. Let's respect one another. Mind the way you talk. Don't shout at me. Don't bully me. Don't talk down on me. It should make me better. So are the signs that and I felt, another one is I don't know how to talk. You don't know how to say things. Your expression is you are too blunt, you are too judgmental. You don't say things this way. You say it, you package words trying to make me pretend or lie. No, I can't do that. I will say things the way they are. So those are the few things I can pinpoint.
Okay.
Big deal.
Thank you, ma. I like, and I don't know, I like the fact that you are honest in your response to that question. Saying that there are things that maybe you make mistake and repeat and all that. Now, I believe that I am of the school of thought that in marriage you are not student teacher. It's not a student teacher thing. So you are not supposed to
Sorry, Rose.
Yes.
Is complaining that our faces are not showing very well, that we should stay away from the camera.
I have done that, but the thing is that most of that's what Facebook does. It brings you close, no matter how far your video is. Your listening.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mine is very far away.
It's all right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So now the question I want to ask is this: how was the divorce presented to you? How was the divorce presented to you? And what was your reaction? Or what happened to you?
Well, by the time he was going to send the epistle, or it was on WhatsApp. He just sent a message on WhatsApp. Before that message, I just noticed that there was resentment. The last time I spoke with him, he was reluctant talking to me. He was withdrawn. I had to start asking, what's the matter? Are you not excited to speak? This and that. Meanwhile, when he traveled and he landed, okay, are you okay? You resumed school and everything. So I just chipped it in and said, okay, before you left though, we have issues, but for me, I believe we don't have any issue. There is nothing we have. It's just understanding and communication that we need. That is my own perspective. It's not a big deal. Meanwhile, before then, 2017, I have to be very specific here. 2017, God told me specifically that this is over. But praying at that point, I just switched in and prayed around the clock, telling God, no, how? Why will you say it's over? Why do you want this to end? I had to start praying intentionally. That he noticed that there is no day I don't fast. He was worried, he was concerned. We don't even know when to come. We don't know when to come, have intimacy and the rest. Things were already happening. So I kept quiet about it and I was just telling God, no, I don't want this. I rejected vehemently that if anybody have walked up to me to do this, I will tell them I will shun them to their faces because I didn't see it coming at all.
Okay.
And I ignored it. I didn't want it to happen. So wait, when he now traveled in 2021 for schooling, so I now said, since you feel that there is an issue, okay, let's see how we can mend things. Now that we are not even close to each other, let's see how we can start afresh. That was it. By May, less than 6 months, in that letter, that because of irreconcilable differences, I say, I was shocked. I said, wow. And I got it during a Kingdom Conference program in May. That was in one of the morning, I think it was Saturday morning. I was broken. I was not happy. I felt rejected. I felt abandoned. I felt, you know, the reality was not there yet, but I just felt disappointed. Let me say that. The reality was not there yet there. So that's what I can say.
Thank you, ma.
Yeah, over to you.
So,
Yeah.
thank you, ma. I want to ask a question because you both are pastors. You both are pastors in a ministry, under a ministry. What was
Yes.
there no intervention, whether counseling, church intervention, was such a thing not involved?
No, it was the board of the ministry came to us twice, and one of the pastors took it on himself to still come on his own and revisit. And I kept telling them all through the visit that for me, I don't see any issue here. The only thing that visit brought out for me was the fact that we had a job price 7 years into the marriage. And when the crisis was on, for this man to come up and accept his mistake, to just say sorry, was a difficult thing. So I'm telling couples that are here, there are some issues that shouldn't linger at all. Once you know that you are wrong, admit and apologize. But you refuse to say sorry. So that also, they brought it out, and one of the pastors said, no, see, what we are here to do, that sorry you didn't say there would have killed so many issues. He now says sorry. I just looked at him and said, oh, this man doesn't understand. But that's by the wayside. But that's by the way. So they intervened, they did their best. But one thing my overseer believes is that this is an issue between adults. They are not babies. We are not babies. We are adults. We should have our own decision. So irrespective whatever the decision of either the party is, even before what was happening, our overseer was informed, and he told him that, come, this thing work like this. One thing I noticed about him, I know about him, is he can't force anybody to do what they don't want to. That's my pastor for you.
Thank you so much, ma. So I want to ask another question before I go into life after divorce. How many years was the marriage?
25.
We didn't hear you, ma.
25 years.
Wow.
Did you get it? Yeah, 25 years.
The marriage was a 25-year marriage. So
yes,
that means that should we say that the marriage actually started showing traces of ending in the 7th year?
No, yeah, it was just that 6th, but I didn't see the traces at all. But yes, it started showing with utterance, attitude, and then the fact that heard in one of those meetings when the pastors were around, he had to say, he went so deep to say that when we started the marriage, he was humble, he was doing what he was doing, the power was. So it's point I realized this man didn't love me for, he came into my life because of the benefits around him, which he enjoyed everything. Sorry, it's because you are talking about it. So, and I
I
said it
get
to him
you.
that day, and
Mm.
the pastor said that I shouldn't have said that, but me being who I am, if I say a thing, you can't stop me from saying it.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
So I'm going to the question that Dr. Merritt asked. He said, are there cases where we shouldn't bother about rebuilding? If yes, please explain.
there is no case where you should not be bothered about rebuilding. Why? The Holy Bible make us to understand that God hates the false. So you don't give up on whatever God has founded and commit into your hands. These are my pains and these are my disappointments. For many months, I'm still God for mercy until now. He handed over a union into my hands, and how it ended. It's like someone committing something into your hands and you allow it to fail. It's a shame unto that God that you serve. So you don't give up on your marriage. Make sure you are intentional about it. One of the things that I feel we both did not work very well on is being intentional about what we do in the marriage. I cannot even tell you now that, oh, me, I try. No, let me hear that both party failed. We were not intentional. We are not. We didn't do stuff intentionally to ensure that it's the marriage grows. We attended couples fellowship and the rest. We were there religiously because all that we hear there, none was put into practice. And even when a party is trying to put it into practice, is underrated, is looked down upon. Isn't it? The
Thank you, ma.
intentionality of you mark birthday, make it a memorable one. Everything was just, it is well. Please,
Thank
marriage,
you, ma.
there is every opportunity to rebuild. Don't even think of rebuild though, except the two parties are not willing to do it. If it's only one party that is striving, no. But if the two are willing to rebuild, please do. Sorry.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ma.
thank you.
Uh, yes, ma. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, ma, for how far you have, spoken and the perspective and the experience and everything. But ma, I know that you are a pastor and that you are a Christian. But I want us to be more uh, practical and relatable in this discussion this night. Um, so she said, is there cases where you cannot rebuild? Give us practical living where one cannot really rebuild. I'm not talking about, yes, I know that the Holy Book said God hates divorce. Now, that is not what let's say it's from the practical things that happened that made you feel that, okay, I think I cannot go ahead with this anymore.
But okay, thank you for the question. First and foremost, I would like you to know that if it were for me, I would still be in that marriage. Even though I have every reason to walk away, but I would still be in that marriage. But every was just single-handedly done. It's just one party that trying to put us together. That is the number. That is one reason why someone can just forget about rebuilding. Like I said earlier, if it's just one party that is always trying to see that this thing works, then it's not worth it. Then another thing that is there is this: if there is no case of extramarital here. If there is extramarital, there is a case of comparison. The man comes in, a spouse comes into the home and start comparing you with someone out there. It's degrading. It's not the best. These are the signs that you see. So
Thank you, ma.
if you cannot sit down to talk and have a good communication to see how you can save the situation.
Thank you. Thank, thank
Yes.
you, ma. Thank you, ma. Now let's come to Olabisi herself. Let me start with the name change. Your last name, your married name was different. I know that
Yes.
in document, because I know you very well. You're my pastor. So I remember when you were going through that phase, and I remember saying to you, I said, "Mommy, let him go. He's moved on already. Let him go." I remember, I don't know if you remember. I did not. I said you were fasting. Oh my God! I remember you fasted, you prayed, and everything. And I don't know, as a young person, maybe because it got to a time I was angry, and I said to you, I said, what are you fasting for, mommy? Are you going to go back to someone who no longer wants you? So I want to now talk about when it ended. Definitely you have to go through the legal process of bringing the marriage to an end. So when it ended, how did you feel? Tell us about that feeling. Because 25 years spent with someone is not a day. It's not 5 years. It's not
Ah,
2 years. So
at
how
all.
how did you feel? And what was your state of mind for the next 6 months after it? What was it like?
If you are talking state of mind, my mind is still there. The state of mind is still real, still there. Even talking now and just shedding tears. In fact, I'm really, really grateful to God for that.
Hmm.
So when I walked out of that court, the last day of my appearance in that court, oh God, I looked at myself and said, so for 25 plus 7 years, that's 32 years,
Hmm.
flushed down the drain. A week after that court, because that court was on Thursday in June last year. Is it June? A week after that court hearing, because that was the final. They have even given us the the paperwork and everything is already out. So a week after, wow, I cried. I felt like crying. I felt so uncomfortable. The flesh was just giving you reactions. Reactions like, so you are this damn, you are this. So someone can just abandon you and feel that there is nothing worth fighting for over your life. So for 25 years, there is nothing this person can look at and say, no, I won't allow this end. That one torments my life for a long time. That I felt condemned. I felt less of myself. Like, am I that bad? That someone will just have to walk away and say, no, I can't stay. Is it that I have a bad character? Do I have a bad attitude? I got to shop one day and I was asking one of my students that was with me in the shop that, please tell me, am I a bad person? It got that bad. Am I a bad person? Because I don't want to lose my mind, I had to leave Mowe and relocate back to Lagos. Because I don't want to lose my mind. The Holy Spirit just popped into my heart and said, come, go and study more. Just don't be idle. In
Thank you,
fact,
ma.
I did some things by faith that I don't even understand who is doing it. Yeah. Let's go
Thank
on.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for doing this. This is a very vulnerable, you know, vulnerable discussion that we are having now, because you are
Yes.
someone who is known, and to have you say all this now is just like, I believe that is a phase of in the healing. I remember when this topic was, and I reached out to you. I said, "Mommy, you are the one that we talk about." You said, "We are not sure. You are not sure, that you don't know what people will say." So I want to say a big thank you to you for summoning courage, to do this, because you are helping someone. You are helping a woman out there. Now, thank you so far. I want to ask you another question. What were the things that that you could term as growth that you had in marriage, that marriage gave you? Because the thing is that, mommy, apology, but I want to say this. I said to you, I started saying to you, I said, "Mommy, you are glowing." I said, "Man, you are glowing." See, I didn't know you. Apologies, I'm not being self-righteous or blaming them. I didn't know you with the glow that you now have in marriage. I've known you for 17 years. Yeah, no, 18. I've known you for 18 years because of the church that we attend together. And I didn't know you with the glow. I knew you more as someone who was always like, hidden, on herself, yeah, about herself and everything. And I so what but now, what growth did marriage not give you, that you had that boldness now to chase or to pursue? What was it?
Ah, marriage lock up every potential. For every move I made while I was in marriage, I struggled to achieve them.
Hmm.
I didn't achieve anything with ease while in marriage. Coupled with negative declaration over one's life.
Hmm.
You can't do this. You don't know how to keep friends. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that. Condemnation every day. It was horrible. So marriage didn't give me the best of myself to strive. I didn't have that luxury to want to strive and make it with and get the support. No support anywhere. The business I do is like a shameful thing to the
Hmm.
spouse. That how long will you do this kind of job before you make your first million? Like as if it's all about money. So words that you hear, then I knew then that I have some friends, but when I realized that the same friends I have while in the church were the same ones that will hear my matter, see what is happening in my home, and still go back to the church under the canopy outside
Hmm.
discussing my matter. So at that point, I didn't even know who to talk to. I had to keep to myself.
Hmm.
When the spouse is saying, if you talk like this, you're not talking well. If you hear my statement outside, you rush back home and say, who asked you to talk and intervene in matters? I have to also develop a resistance, a boldness to tell him that I'm human. Let me make my mistake. Let me make my mistake, correct it, and be better. Leave
Hmm.
me alone. Let me make my mistakes. So, for everything I do, for peace to reign in church, I decided to be quiet. I look, I observe, and guess what? I learn more in that state. I learn a lot. That's what
Hmm.
people don't know. And I'm so content with what I have. I'm not someone that is desperate. I'm not someone that is covetous. Those are the things that kept me. I'm content. And I'm happy with the life I have. That was what kept me. Because if I was not happy with the life I have, maybe I would have been the one that would have walked away or find someone to fall into his hands out there.
Hmm.
So I was not eager to look for life elsewhere.
Hmm.
So I had to keep to myself. Is that what you want? I'll be quiet. That was why I was quiet. And
Hmm.
the only person that I can seek solace from is God. And I felt, okay, for you to have this kind of situation of solace, or for you to have this kind of intervention, what you need to do, because I realized for 1 inch, for one step ahead, beloved, a lot of fasting, a lot of prayer, a lot of struggle. So that
Mm,
was why I was not glowing, because I'm always praying, I'm always fasting, and I don't eat well.
mm, mm.
Fake
Thank you,
life,
ma. Mm,
fake life.
mm. Thank you so much, ma. I want to say that I really commend your strength and your patience. Someone like me don't have that type of patience. Yeah, I don't. You know, my husband would tell me sometimes, say, Rosemary, you know, be woman, you know, be man, now woman you be. The one thing I realized early, even as a young girl in marriage, was that maybe because I came from a broken home, so I saw some the things that my mother went through.